cikin nazari.
Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Friday, 14th of July 2023 and it's equivalent to 26th of Zulhijjah 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines. Tinubu declares state of emergency on food insecurity as prices rise. MFLA have been charged to court, says DSS. Police nab father for selling 3 children for 1.5 million naira in Rivers. And on the foreign scene, Hollywood actors announce start of historic strike. And in sports, on 2026 World Cup qualifier, Super Eagles to face South Africa, Benin and 3 others in Group C. And those were the headlines. And for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday declared a state of emergency on food security as the federal government stepped up efforts to tackle food inflation following the removal of fuel subsidy. Tinubu also approved that all matters pertaining to food and water availability as well as affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the National Security Council. This is to be followed by an immediate release of fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effect of the subsidy removal. Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, disclosed this to State House correspondents on Thursday after consultations with key stakeholders in the agricultural sector value chain at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. On the regulatory side, Alake disclosed that the federal government will create a commodity board to monitor and control food prices. Barely 6 hours after a federal high court ordered the Department of State Service (DSS) to either arraign or release suspended Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele from its custody, the DSS said last night it had charged the top banker to court. The spokesman for the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunanya, who gave the information in a statement on Thursday night, did not, however, give the details of the charges leveled against Emefiele or the court in which the case is pending. The service assured the public of professionalism, justice and fairness in handling this matter and indeed the discharge of its duties within the confines of the law. Lawmakers will get to 70 billion naira in the 819 billion naira supplementary budget passed by the National Assembly on Thursday. The Senate also approved the $800 million World Bank loan request by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The sum will be extracted from the 819 billion Supplementary Appropriation Act 2022. 500 billion naira was earmarked for palliatives and other capital expenditures to cushion the effects of the recent fuel subsidy removal. Also, 19.2 billion naira was budgeted for the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to ameliorate the massive destruction to farmlands across the country during the severe flooding experience last year. Tinubu, in the request letter read at the plenary by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, said the loan will be substantially spent as an intervention fund for the vulnerable in the society. The president noted that 12 million naira vulnerable Nigerians will be placed on a monthly stipend of 8,000 naira per person for 6 consecutive months to cushion the effects of subsidy removal on them. NACON Hajj Commission of Nigeria has said the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has said the indefinite suspension of MAX Air domestic operations by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, will not affect its Hajj airlift operation in Saudi Arabia. In a statement yesterday, NACON's Deputy Director, Information and Publications Division, Musa Obandawaki, said the suspension order is limited to their domestic air services, which did not affect their charter and international operations. He assured that the ongoing airlift of Nigerian pilgrims will continue undisturbed and the airline will continue to utilize the slots allocated to it by the Saudi General Authority in Civil Aviation, GACA, unhindered. The police in Rivers yesterday said operatives attached to the Commission of Police CP Monitoring Unit on Saturday, July 8 at about 5 p.m. arrested one Charles Michael alongside 6 others for selling his 3 children for 1.5 million naira. The police said Michael sold his 5-year-old child, 2-year-old, and a day-old for 700,000 naira, 500,000 naira, and 350,000 naira, respectively. The suspect, in an interview with newsmen, blamed economic hardship for his action, saying he was unable to take care of the children. He confessed that he sold the children at intervals and used the proceeds to open a salon for his wife with hearing and speaking disabilities. The State's Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO Grace Irenge Koko, while parading the seven child trafficking syndicate, said their arrest was based on the revelation of 2 suspects who were earlier arrested. However, Irenge Koko noted that both the 2-year-old and the baby have been recovered, adding that investigation was in top gear to recover the 5-year-old. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC has arrested 13 Chinese nationals for allegedly engaging in illegal mining activities in Ilorin, Kwara State. The anti-graft agency disclosed this in a statement on Thursday by its head of media and publicity, Wilson Wajiran. According to Wajiran, the 12 male and 1 female suspects were arrested on July 12 at the government-reserved area Ilorin. He said the arrest followed credible intelligence about their activities, which included but not limited to illegal mining and non-payment of royalties to the federal government as required by law. He said the suspects will be arraigned upon the conclusion of investigation, which had already begun. The federal government on Thursday announced that the 11 power distribution companies in Nigeria have applied for the review of their various electricity tariffs in order to incorporate the charges in the microeconomic parameters across the country. It disclosed that through a notice published by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Recall that some power distribution companies had announced in June that there will be a hike in tariff projected to take effect from July 1, 2023. The discourse, however, backtracked the next day after widespread criticism as they stated that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission had yet to approve the hike. It was, however, observed on July 1, 2023 that the discourse did not raise the tariff, an indication that they had yet to get the approval of the power sector regulator. But on Thursday, the NERC announced that the power firms had applied for a review of their respective tariffs, though it described it as an application for rate review. The Naira yesterday appreciated to 746.28 Naira per dollar in the investors and exporters I&E window. Data from FMDQ showed that the indicative exchange rate for the investors and exporters I&E window fell to 746.28 per dollar from 782.49 Naira per dollar, Wednesday indicating 36.21 appreciation for the Naira. Similarly, the Naira appreciated to 790 Naira per dollar in the parallel market yesterday from 793 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, indicating 3 Naira appreciation. And on the foreign scene, Hollywood actors have announced they will join an ongoing strike by screenwriters in the industry's biggest shutdown for more than 60 years. The Screen Actors Guild SAG wants streaming giants to agree to a fairer split of profits and better working conditions. Some 160,000 performers will stop work at midnight. The stoppage means the vast majority of U.S. film and TV productions will grind to a halt. Stars Cillian Murphy, Matt Damon and Emily Blunt left the premiere of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer in London on Thursday night as the strike was declared. The SAG walkout starts at midnight Los Angeles time. Picketing will begin on Friday morning outside the California headquarters of Netflix, before moving on to Paramount, Warner Bros. And Disney. The union, officially known as the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or SAG-AFTRA, also wants a guarantee that artificial intelligence, AI, and computer-generated faces and voices will not be used to replace actors. And in sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have been drawn in Group C alongside South Africa, Benin Republic, Rwanda, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The African qualification draw for the 2026 World Cup, to be co-hosted in USA, Mexico, and Canada, was held in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire on Thursday, July 13, 2023. It will be a reunion between the Super Eagles players and former coach Garnet Rohr, who is the current handler of Benin Republic. The Eagles failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar after losing to Ghana on goals difference. The fourth round games of 2026 World Cup qualifiers will begin on November 13, 2023 and end November 18, 2025. Meanwhile, USA forward Christian Pulisic has completed his £20 million move from Chelsea to Italian club AC Milan. Pulisic's 24 have signed a 4-year deal with the Serie A side with the option of a further year. He scored 26 goals in 145 games at Chelsea and played in the 2021 Champions League final win over Manchester City. Chelsea released a statement confirming the transfer, saying, "We wish Christian well and thank him for all his contributions during his time at the club." He joined Chelsea from Borussia Dortmund in a £57.6 million move in 2019 that made him the most expensive player from North America. And with the sport news, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Unity Radio FM TV, respectively. You can also watch us live on the satellite decoder Badarsat, which has been watched in about 38 countries of the world free. You can also follow and engage with us on our YouTube channel. Stream us live on Unity FM TV. I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs. Do have yourself a lovely day.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.